We started working with different dairy farms across Scotland and Cumbria. The main reason we started doing that work was because, based on the agricultural reports, carbon emissions have been increased for the past 20 years. We try to see how we can maximize the potential for the farm to use all of their available energy that they are already generating in the farm, either through solar panels, wind generation, hydro generation, and aerobic digestion. The main issue is that although you may believe that all of the farms have the exact same processes and they're doing the exact same thing, actually each farm is completely unique. So it's really impossible to have like one size fits all solution. It really depends on the actual and exact condition of each of the farm. And that's the reason why we first try to gather a lot of detailed data every single second about how the farm is producing and consuming energy, and trying to understand what's the best value for each individual farm.
Blair Farm near Stonykirk at Stranraer. We are based in the southwest of Scotland. We have 300 organic dairy cows. We have 50 kilowatts of solar panels, and we also have 2 different biomass systems that run on Outer Blair. One of the systems runs 3 houses and the dairy, and the other system is a larger commercial system that runs a timber processing plant that we also have as a second business on the farm. Both businesses consume just shy of 200,000 kilowatts per annum, of which the solar will generate sort of 40 to 50,000 kilowatts. We got involved with a digital dairy chain. We looked at what the consumptions were on various tech on the farm, and then we looked at the power that was being generated on the farm over a period of 4 or 5 months. What power was being lost or exported, and it was exporting it at 3, 4, 5, 6 pence, and then buying it back 2 hours later at 28 pence. The team at Strathclyde Uni, they looked at all the data that was given to them. They processed the data and came up with a formula of how much battery storage to use, how much for the likes of using an ice bank and harvesting that energy during the day. The team at Strathclyde, what they did was give it an exact pound, shilling and pence of what we were losing, or what the potentials were, or if we can utilise everything that is produced on farm. What we've come to the conclusion of is that we need a portfolio of different aspects to harness that power, of which battery is one. Turning kit on that can be turned on and off when power is available is another. So what we're doing is we try to harness all the electricity that we produce here and utilise it, which makes our business more sustainable, reduces our carbon, and makes the business more profitable.
Dairy Farming Company Limited in southwest Scotland. We farm roughly 2,500 acres. We've got 1,200 milking cows, 6 million litres of milk, and we've got 1,200 indoor sows. Currently, we've got windmills and solar at our pig unit, 33 kilowatts of wind and 50 of solar, and we have 100 kilowatts of solar at our North Marsalic dairy and 100 at our Dewry dairy. Because we're off-grid, we had to understand how we use our power and how we use it more efficiently. First of all, we did power monitoring, and we understood how much power we're using across phase. And we, of course, discovered in some cases that our phases were imbalanced, so we need to try and correct that. And as we understood that, we added more renewables. To make use of the very large excess in sunny days, we put in place thermal stores. When the sun is high, basically heat water, store that water in an insulated container. And often our thermal stores will be 95 degrees centigrade by midday, reducing our need altogether for afternoon wash of water. We have probably reduced our electricity bill by 25%, which is pretty significant, and it'll help pay for all of renewable investment that we've made. The Innovation Voucher was to look at next stage, which was to make better use of this excess and to be able to move electricity around. So we hoped to be able to join up Dewry to the piggery to North Marsalic with a cable and put batteries in place. It allowed for feasibility, allowed us to understand the infrastructure that we required to link up the farms. The size of cable, how much power we could send between the farms. Did we have enough power to actually justify in the first place making such a spend? Where we would need to put batteries to balance phase. Really, it was an investigation into what could be done and how much it would likely cost. There was a great learning about what was needed. That voucher helped us understand what we could do, and it helped us understand that it's not viable at the moment. It was definitely very informative and worthwhile doing, and it certainly stopped me from charging ahead and spending money that I wouldn't be able to get a return on.
Littleton Farm Gatehouse of Fleet. We have 1,800 cows on a fully housed system, milking through a 70-point rotary farm. So at Littleton we've got various renewables. We have a 180 kilowatt wind turbine with 200 kilowatts of battery storage. We have 124 kilowatts of anaerobic digester. We have solar panels around 70 kilowatts. Little small hydro scheme, 2 megawatts of biomass, which are used for heating and drying different products, and a ground source heat pump system. It takes about 3/4 of our electric, reduces our cost by that much every year, so it's been great. It's a major cost. Ice electric getting so expensive, you really shouldn't be looking at it. So with the Innovation Voucher, really what happened was we teamed up with 2 of the other farmers, Strathclyde Uni. Data we gathered was really fundamentally phases, kilowatts being used each phase, what we're consuming and what we're exporting each day, really, and then try and work out a plan to see how we could make it work better, reduce our costs. The first thing we worked out, we were consuming generally about 60 kilowatts an hour. So with renewables, and especially wind and solar, it varies each day. So we're trying to match the power being produced to that 60 kilowatts best we can. That was really the outcome. The changes we're going to make here on the farm is looking at cost to produce the hot water and to cool the milk. That's our biggest cost. So we have to try and get them a bit better. The plan is, going forward, is probably another ice builder to use as a storage facility, really, for extra renewable. Well, I think the collaboration with other farmers and other people has been great because you can get the best parts of each farm. You can always learn something and use it on your own farm. It has to be the way forward. Oh yeah, the Innovation Voucher was a fantastic thing for you for Littleton because it gave us the data, gave us the belief to actually spend more money to try and reach our goals and, I guess, becoming net zero, hopefully, in the future.
Beckside Farm in southwest Cumbria. We have 800 dairy cows milked 3 times a day on a rotary parlour, and we'll do 10 million litres this year. We are a primary producer of milk, and there is a very big push through our processor and the end user ultimately to reduce our carbon footprint. And to achieve that, we need to be looking at all our sources of energy and utilising them, optimising them to the best advantage. So we make full use of the rainfall to drive our hydroelectric scheme, which powers most of the site. Digital Dairy Chain, we worked with them on a number of projects, and they suggested we should do something with energy. Strathclyde University came down, they spent a number of days here gathering data and then analysing it, detailing our usages and surplus going to the grid or imports from the grid. Solar was the logical power source that we perhaps weren't utilising. But what we do have is some very significant roofs, and we really needed some help and guidance as to what would be the optimum number of panels that we could sensibly justify. It's quite a complex equation, and that's where the university would bring their brain power and computing power to bear. And we've now got a really good set of data that we can see if we invest X pounds, that will show a return in Y years. And that is really, really useful because yes, we've invested significantly in this site. We've got competing projects for investment, solar being one. So to be able to have some really good quality data to help our decision-making process was really, really useful. Because we've already got the hydro, which prior to the expansion was covering off the majority of our power requirements, we've paused the installation at the moment because of the expansion, but it is very much on the cards, and we're looking at other alternatives as well.
So what we have seen is that the farms are able to have really significant monetary savings out of these projects. The main way that has the best impact in the pocket of the farmer, if you can say it like that, is if they can reduce their carbon footprint from the energy they are using. This is the first thing that they can do to save the maximum amount of money possible. It's almost maybe 80% more compared to any other approach. So I really hope that by doing this research and supporting the people that actually need support, we would like to see more businesses to thrive in the dairy industry.